Good morning and welcome. It is the 23rd of October 2018. And what I want to do in this video is go over my entire watch list, which is currently sorted in chronological order. I did this many a days ago, over a week ago. A few coins added, a few coins removed, not many of which added or removed overall. And so we'll get started. I'm going to shift this over a bit so it's not as big, just so we can see the name of it. That's about as much as I'm going to go on that. Okay, so we got in the daily term time frame. We'll start off within the first one, which is Cardano crossed against Binance Coin. Obviously hanging in there, not doing so well as of late. Still in the correctionary move from this last play of the upside. And these coins are just measures of increasing the overall net cryptocurrency portfolio. Talked about this one early in the crypto day morning, Singularity Net. Just a nice little setup there. I'm pretty decently impressed on how this one is holding in there. Ever since the two-day rally of September 16th and 17th, it has been holding in pretty good. A nice further gain extension into October. So far, this correctionary move has looked solid. Yes, it pierced below the 18 lows, so be it. It had a matching low to this level, but since it came back into the correctionary mode, which it did so on October 15th, spending about a week or so there, we can see over the last couple of days it's leaving outside of this newly rising 18 after pretty much just went sideways. And it still technically kind of is sideways, but I do like its potential moving forward. ARN has been hanging in there really well from its gain as well, holding amongst its 18 average band very, very nicely. So when I look at stuff like this, I say to myself, okay, so this move doesn't look like it's concluding, at least as of yet. I talked in the video about an ascending triangle, and this might be a decent example for such. Nah, not really, but sort of. I mean, you got this level of resistance at around 12.9. I mean, it pierced well above it, pierced above it, and then hitting it. Technically, it's symmetrical, but holding in there very, very well. Binance Coin against that of Bitcoin, and it's just flat pretty much as can be. Not doing too much at all right now. Moving on to, well, this is Bitcoin, so we've already been taking a look at that. That is not doing much at all either. The differential of price, we can see one's almost 6,400, or the Coinbase and the Binance, or the Coinance and the Bitstamp. But the Bitfinex is about 180 or so, 175 differential, so close to 3%. On that one, looking at a US Canadian currency cross, when this goes down, I would expect the same thing with gold and silver. Same thing on going up, as far as it going up as well. For me, this helps. Well, as far as my cryptocurrency balance is concerned, that means it's worth more. So I kind of prefer overall that it goes down, but I realize that I've been waiting for a long time for this to move into that of an uptrend. As we can see, this had this down move, band flattened out, and this is an interesting spot because it broke past this level of established resistance. How it just failed in here, definitely a warning sign, but it's obviously created this market. It's all fiat currency crossing against other fiat currency, so it's like, man, whatever. As far as Cloak is concerned, this has got an interesting setup too, as it's managed to have this level of resistance, comes back down, and I like how it's been holding up over the last several days, even in just over the last like 5 or 6, how on the 16th, 17th it manages to come to where current price action's at, comes back to the 18 highs, and then yesterday it left it. If this thing leaves it again, this could be pretty darn near good. I got CMT. I'm only trading it against Binance Coin, but I got it shown against 3 different things. As this has had a good move, obviously. This is what I like to see, up and down choppy action, which makes it better for trading. Against Bitcoin, you're going to get a similar sort of look to a degree, and then against the U.S. fiat currency, this is 10.8 cents. But this is like, I'm gonna remove it. I don't need it. It's calculated against the tether, I think, as it is. So it's like whatever. And for what it's worth, again, all these coins are just measures to try to increase what the Bitcoin is worth, and then of course what it's worth for total currency, especially because it's a form of money. And what good is money if you don't spend it? And that's exactly what I think about within this Dash now. Moving on in a continuing its downtrend, which means all of these sell orders, I'm getting some of them back, but it's been slow but sure. I got about I don't know 7 or 8 different codes that I'm trading this on Poloniex, and I went like 10 days without a trade on there. I've only managed 2 since then recently. I'm due to buy this soon at any time. I probably got a buy order somewhere around 228, I would think, next. But all this was selling up here, and it's just been buying back. I'll just keep doing that the same way. As the cred is an interesting one. This is one that I did sell, and what a large move. No, I thought I sold this yesterday. Yeah, I sold this yesterday. As it had this monstrous, beautiful move to the upside. And I like right now how it's holding on the single hour time frame. So that's very, very nice. The other thing that I have is a DGB buy, which will come in soon. Dent. JSNIP4 was talking about Dent today, that he managed to buy into this. I got into this at 29 Satoshi, and I've been just buying, selling here. I just sold at 40 yesterday. So therefore, I'll be looking to buy that back at about 34 if it comes down there. Or I'll be selling next at about 46, 47, 48, somewhere in those 3 numbers, probably around 47. I look to go 15, 20% moves. If it gets out of hand, then I'll maybe look to get a better move, either by force because of just pure luck, or because of market conditions where I'm like, okay, maybe I'm going to go for a 40% gain or a 50% gain. But every time it goes up, I sell, down, I buy. And I had sell orders here, buy orders on the way down. Even like selling up here at up in this high end and buying back down, all that type of fun stuff. But overall, my net average cost is 21 Satoshi right now, so that's magnificent. DGB, this is in a downtrend, and again, I just ended up buying this just yesterday. So if this breaks down below the support, I'll be looking to buy again down towards here in the low 320s, high 310s is most likely next buy target. But you see these moves that come into place. This is a choppy action that I'm really looking for. I don't trade the stock market, but it's on here. It's just interesting to look at, so I've looked at it. Same thing with the Dixie. This is the U.S. fiat currency index. An interesting bullish pattern. And that makes sense why the Canadian currency is in a little bit of a downtrend, but it's been showing a lot of strength recently amongst the 18 average of highs in conjunction with this previous level here, which is also in conjunction with 2 layers of resistance. One at around this line here, about 95.57-ish, which is these 3 highs in here. It's these highs. It's also still an area where it's consolidating now. And then you got this previous high at about 97. ALF. And I think of ALF, not the elves from like Santa Claus, no, but ALF, the 1980s TV show. I like when it does stuff like this where it can have sellers come in and I can just buy it back. EOS crossed against Binance Coin. And it's just holding sideways mainly after this rally that has taken place. So we'll just wait and see. I haven't traded that in a while. Ethereum Classic against Binance Coin has stopped its decline. And moved it more to a neutrality base. That's really all I need to say about that. And then when markets go down like that, that means you lose as far as your net equity is concerned as a trader, because the value, same thing with Ethereum, just keeps on going down and down and down. And this one here, if you're looking for coins that haven't been going up and are still in a downtrend, well, this one's got a scary situation, because after this last rally attempt from September, it broke down below the 18-hour correctionary move in October, and since then it has done nothing but make that move sideways. The only rally attempt, October 15th, has done nothing but fail amongst such. So could there be further downside action? Sure, but I will just keep on buying on the way down, realizing that just like we've seen here and here, when they go up, they can go up relatively fast. EVX. And EVX, I mean, it's these moves in which I got in to it, but it's been an uptrend, so it's been profitable since I've started playing this. I've only been in this for, well, ever since after this day. So I got into this at like 78ish or so probably, but I've sold up here, bought back. I've had a few sells and buybacks already within it, so that's pretty cool. And the more I can do that, the more I'll outperform the market. But by doing that, if this thing goes up like 10 times, I'm not going to make a 10x gain, because I'm going to sell at 10,000. I'm going to sell this at 12 and some at 15 and 20 and so on. But when it goes back down, it's going to take a long time now for me to be in a losing position if I can get some decent gains. GNT, I think I showed this earlier today, very good pattern. Gold in at 1237, up $15, and a beautiful, beautiful daily pattern, as it had a nice little run on October the 11th, then going sideways in here, and that's a pretty nice gain. The gain is 1.3%, and the gold to silver ratio is down negative 0.3, so that's going to mean silver is doing better. Let's just take a look at this on a single hour time frame, and yeah, nice little move starting at 1, 2 in the morning. Nice moves. It's overdue in my book, but you know what though, it'll remain overdue till it's not. And while it is overdue, don't expect it to stop its overdueness anytime soon. But as far as buying low, selling high amongst gold and silver, it has totally been a play with all of these. It's choppy as anything amongst these moves, making it a good candidate if you're trading amongst that measure to do that same buy low, sell high strategy amongst such. The gold to silver ratio, so silver's going to have a decent sized day. ICX, it's holding in there. Nice little sideways action. Komodo's got a very beautiful daily term setup. And I got it shown twice on here, so I can see the numbers. So I can see, is there an arbitrage available? And the answer is no, there's not. Because this one on Bittrex is priced at basically 2,000 on one handle, and this one is 2015 handle, so there's like a 14-point differential. I mean, technically I can get a small gravy amount, but it's not worth it, so I'm not going to try right now. But if I see there's a differential getting better than like 1.5%, 2% or more, then I'm going to really go after whatever I can. Amongst an arbitrage, which is buying at the place where it's lower and selling at the place that it's higher, I have Komodo available on both sites, so I can sell either place. And I have Bitcoin on both sites, so I can buy on either place. And if I run out of Bitcoin on pretty much the lower place site, I could move more over there. It's not hard to do. But I like this daily term setup that it's got going on right now. As it's been, after this last move on October 17th, showing a lot of this good sideways consolidation. Lend. Nice pattern. I like this move right now. I like how it's leaving this 18 average, has broken this level of resistance. It's still got to see it continue to hold the 18, which means it could very easily retrace down and not lose its bullish trend. Big resistance came in at 260 up to about 292. Link. And amongst Chainlink, this was recommended. I got into it. I like it. I like its overall choppy action that it has throughout its entirety. And this is what I really admire. So once I looked at that, I'm like, man, it's choppy as anything. I got to get in, is what I thought. So I'm glad right now that I have, because I've had one sell order after my original buy, I think, which is a good start to get at. Let's move this back to the daily as we move on to other ones. Loom is next on the list. And it's hanging in there within a nice little run here, because from this level, or rally from the September 13 lows, but even this higher volatility here, it's maintaining a sideways move. I still could go down a bit lower and not really destroy the up move as far as a retracement from point low to point high. The keyword still is good, but it's in that correctionary 18 phase, and leaving such will help determine how it's going to go from that point on. Lisk has been in a downtrend, but I like its choppy action as well. I got the Binance coin, but even before this, there's more data from Bittrex. It's been nice and volatile. Litecoin against many different things, because I trade against everything but the dollar, just because of ease value not being so easy. I could do it on Cryptopia, but it's really got low volume there. And I don't trust the Tether, so I don't trade it. Last I talked about this, I sold this at 629, so I still haven't bought this back yet. I'm looking to buy back 5 even-ish, I think, somewhere around here. So, and it looks like the down move is going to come into place. Litecoin against Bitcoin, my last play was buy. So similar sort of pattern, and I'm trading this so tight. Yeah, I haven't traded this in days. It hasn't done much ever since my last buy at about 820 something. Would have been my last order would have been on October the 11th. That would have been the last time I bought, and I haven't done anything with it since. I haven't done anything with Litecoin, Ethereum in a coon's age, but it's been in this sideways range. And then Litecoin against the dollar. This is Bitstamp. It's hanging in there amongst the 18 average of lows, so that's a weak thing to say, because it's showing weakness amongst the 18 average. Long term, it's still got to break through this sideways move, and I think it's really going to be real effective amongst Bitcoin. If Bitcoin ends up breaking its support, going lower to 3,000, then this thing could very easily go down to 20, but the volatility long term is just magnificent, that it could just spark from 20 to 1,000 like it's nothing. And it wouldn't surprise me. That's the nature of the wildness that you can make in this. And also, if you're looking into investing into cryptos, that should be one reason why not to go too heavy, but heavy enough into investing in it, in the sense that if, say, you can afford to put like X amount, which might be, say, 25 grand into it, and you realize, well, if I could put like 2, 3, 4 grand, the potential for gains amongst trades is so high that I really just don't need to, and then I have currency back to buy more later on. So just something to keep in mind, that you don't really need to have large investment sizes, but of course the larger you have, the more you can gain, of course. Because if you gained 4x on 10,000 versus 50,000, well, it's 5 times higher no matter how you look at it, well, regardless of the fact. Nano showing some strength amongst the 18 average of highs, but overall in this nice sideways consolidation, I love its choppy action as well so far, as this was nothing but sell order city. I talked a lot about Nano in the end of August in here. So a bunch of buy orders, some selling up here, mainly buying, a little bit of selling up here again, just one recent. But that's all fine and dandy. Neo I haven't traded in a coon's age, I don't think. Probably down to this buy in here. Or, you know, I think I would have even bought it like, I probably have a buy order down here and a sell order somewhere up here. I haven't traded in a while. But it's just hanging in there, not doing much. NXPS, it's in at 24 Satoshi, having an interesting breakout here, but not too volatile right now. Omi's Go. I haven't looked at this chart in a decent amount of time, but it hasn't traded for me in a while. Ontology. ONT, just hanging in there, and again, I haven't traded this in a while. There's no surprise when I look at this. As all this buying down here, you got the sell that coming in here. A little bit of buying back, but as far as the best you could do, if you manage to buy this low at 178, we'll call it, it's gotten up to 211, so I mean there's small gains, but even if you're looking for it, if you end up buying at say 19 even, you really can't sell this top as it is. You're not going to get the bottoms and tops every time when you just put buy orders and sell orders like I do. PivX against Bitcoin. It's had a decent looking chart last I remembered. Yeah, it's looking pretty good. Especially today. I like how it's leaving the 18 average and such. POA network, decent looking. Poly, I had a nice little interesting trade the other day in here with this. And it's got a nice little look. I like how it's showing a lot of strength amongst the 18 average of highs within this correctionary move. It's already technically broken above this level of resistance. Check Bitcoin to see if it's broken past that. But I like how this thing is looking, and it's got nice choppy action. Populous is next. I haven't traded that in a coon's age, and I can see why. Qtum, I haven't traded that in a while. Did I? I should have sold up here. Let me pause the tape. And I did sell it 2 days ago at 45 and change. So that's the memory I got. I just didn't remember that I sold it, which is fine because the orders will come into place. Redcoin, I'm still waiting for my buy or sell to come in. It's showing a lot of weakness amongst this 18 right now. Where's my lines? Really? I don't remember deleting anything in here. My buy order is 44. And I got a sell order, I think 59. That sucks because I had my lines in here. I don't know. Anyway, Redcoin. I mean, the types of moves, when you just have these U and V shaped formations, whether it's up or down, overall they're long-term profitable. Because the price action did have these numbers going up to 82. I was selling somewhere near the high 79 or 78 would have been my highest sell order. But I've been able to buy it all back, and then every time I do, I'm getting like 15% more Redcoin than I did before, and I'm taking a small amount of Bitcoin in my pocket as well too. So everything I've sold, I've been able to buy back from this run, which is pretty cool. Your chart layout was changed. Interesting, okay. I've never seen that before. Silver in at 1477, and I am having weather issues. I hope my internet's fine. Then, of course, I had... Usually rain, I shouldn't lose the internet. It's not, I haven't heard any thunder. There's my lines. 58 is my sell. Okay, that was interesting. Silver should be in an uptrend because we looked at it earlier. Man, this is a nice looking, interesting pattern. Good day for silver, going with a decent green candle. Starting to the day at 14.54, now up to about almost 14 4/5, between 3/4 and 4/5. And this level of resistance here, 84 cents, and again at about the 89-cent handle. Really, really big, but I think this has got good potential to move into the 1520s if it's able to break above it. And you know what? It's interesting, like, oh man, this thing got down to 14. What a great buying spot it was. It was pretty okay. But no, because its all-time lows, as far as I'm concerned, was at I'm going to say December and January. December because that's when Bitcoin was 20,000. January, that's because my crypto portfolio was even higher given the altcoins. And Bitcoin was still like 17 or 16,000 at that point. But still, anyway. Nice pattern for silver. I like how it's looking. And of course, it's to me real money. I can hold it, physically touch it. It's the only thing I would hold, knowing that I'm in a time machine for 20 years or 15 years, because there's not one cryptocurrency I would feel safe to still have value in 15 years, although they could, and they could be tremendous. But the moves on cryptos are going to be tremendous, hence why I'm in it. Steam is just doing this whole sideways nonsense right now. But when you look at the volatility that it has, and this is against Binance Coin, you see on this day here it goes up to close to 11, and then it comes back down to like 90, well 110 down to 95 is another way of putting it. It's decent volatile moves this day here. You got a high of the 1023 handle and a low of the 803 handle. So that's like 25%. I mean, the last few days haven't been so volatile, but it's got a good track record of doing so. Strat. Just sideways. And I mean, holding on to this, we're playing this has been losing in my portfolio over the last many months. Yes, you're going to get a little bit of help here and there, but buy order. There's going to be a few sell orders, but obviously I would have been better off not playing strat at all than playing it on the current run so far. However, when we look at this as far as the net long-term game after everything's done, I'm probably going to be happy to be playing. I don't know why I'm holding THC. I just feel it's going to do well. It's like one of those weird, like, I don't know. That and Lisk. Those are the two ones that I just have this weird feeling about. I don't know what it is. But it's obviously in a downtrend. I'm selling at 477. I'm buying at 252. Theta against Binance Coin. Next. Tron. I haven't done anything with Tron for a while, but nice choppy action overall. I like it. And, I mean, yeah, just everything you sell up here, you buy back. Sell up here, buy back. It's the way I like it. Even buying here, and I'm probably due to buy back at this if it goes down to like 330. Okay, this is TUSD against Binance Coin, so this is the inverse to Binance. This is the inverse to Bitcoin with it against it, and this is the US dollar one, which I last showed yesterday at 1.03. Now it's 1.0282. And this, of course, should be just stalled around the 1, like it was in here. Interesting how these moves happened before. And, I mean, this got up to here, so I'm going to be curious to see how this is going to move over the next little while. Each day has candle structure to it, which means volatility. I mean, today's session has a high of 103 or 1030, a low of 1025, a differential of 5 on that. That isn't much at all. That's half a percent. But you know what? Considering what it should be, I mean, there's still a 0.5% move, and that's low compared to some of these other days. Like this day here had a differential of 1035 and 1052. That's a differential of 17. That's like 1.6, 1.7%. Okay, VeChain, nothing but losing on this one recently. However, everything you sold here, you're grindingly buying on your way back. This is grinding your way lower. It's still doing it. So if you're buying here, you're guessing that it's going to be the low as it would be in here. And it could go down more. But the way I look at it is if I just keep buying every so often, if I were to buy now at 111, I'd look to buy again at, say, 98 maybe, or 95. And then buy again at about, say, 84. And then buy again at this low at about, like, 70. And just so on and so forth. And just keep on doing it. But you'll lose if it's not going to go back up. However, if it goes back up, it's going to net profit you long term. VIA I showed this morning crossed against Bitcoin. I mean, I look at this pattern. I bought it yesterday just because I liked its pattern. Vertcoin, I haven't done anything in that in a long time. Can you see why? It's just hanging in there. Now we're looking at the precious metals. This is silver against the Canadian dollar, just showing a lot of strength amongst the 18 average of highs. Gold against the Canadian dollar showing a nice bullish pattern, but it's a little different than, of course, the silver one. But both showing bullish patterns in similar sort of harmony. Lumen, I love this choppy action. So, I haven't traded it in a little while. I probably would have sold it recently in here, this last little run, and so I'm still waiting to either price go up here to sell more or price go lower to buy it back at a cheaper price. Ripple, I haven't done a trade on that in a while, and Well, I can see why. Same thing with Verge. Nothing in a while there. But, I mean, it's in a sideways consolidation between 213 and 225. As long as it keeps this choppy action going, because when it has upruns, I mean, it can have good upruns. So you can be saying on the way down here, oh man, why am I buying this? I mean, if you sell back, say last March, before the April Fool's rally, it's like, man, just get out. It's because I got in at 88.93, now it's at 3.99. Well, then for not holding in there, you lost. But if you kept buying, like, oh my goodness, well, say you sell at 8.30, you buy back at 6.61, you buy at 5.16, you buy at, say, 4.45. Now it's like 3.99. You're like, damn it, buy some more. And, well, now your sell orders are hitting. Whole bunch of sell orders. And that's what I like about the trading mechanism within such. Because if I'm going to be selling this at 13.30, and I see in here I got a line at 10.56, I want to take advantage of that buyback. And then if I'm buying this at 10.56, I can see on this big red candle down day that the price action did go up to 1400 and sell orders city, then now the buy orders are going to come in. Buy orders down to about 667. So if I bought at, say, 700 and the price goes up to 900, I'm taking advantage and I'm going to sell a share there, or some shares or some coins, and then buy order, whatever. You're just... It's so hard to sell when it grinds its way down like this. If you have a low of 488 and it rallies up to 563, it's going to be tough because you almost have to buy at the bottom and sell at the high. That it's just nothing but buy order city. Moving on. But as you can see from the August lows at like around 170 even, if it's going from 170 to 278, I'm going to be selling that. Buy back here. So from this run down here, there's buying. And then they're selling up here, buying down here, selling up here, buying down here, selling up here, and then buying. So now I'm going to sell up here or buy down here. Not much left to go over, just two more coins. ZEC I haven't traded in a week and a half. And it was a buy order that I got last time when I traded it. So I haven't managed to get a sell. You know, I probably should. I got higher percentage moves on this one. Not many of them do. This is why I'd like to have low percentage trades because well, let me see, what was my buy price? It was 174. So I would have bought it on the way down in here. I have sell orders over 200 on it. And Zen is the final one. I like its choppy moves again, these little pierce moves that it has. And that is my portfolio on coins traded on Bittrex, Binance, and Poloniex. I also trade very little on Cryptopia, mainly XBY for that one. But their codes are not available for view on the site. I'd like to thank you for tuning into this long video. I figured it'd be about a half-hour video. I pretty much was right. Good call on this. But the all basis of the game is, if, say, this goes up to, like, say I got a sell order at 157, that's my next one, then I'm going to probably put a new sell order in at about 170 something, and then go for the buy. Now, if I say I sell at 157, then I'm going to look to probably buy back at about 20% cheaper price. I'm going to buy more than what I sold, but I'm going to buy it for less of the base currency, in this case Binance coin, than what I'm going to buy it for. One way I like to do this is look to sell 10% of what I hold, but for noticeably higher than a 10% gain. So 15, 20%-ish is noticeably higher than a 10% gain. So if I was to buy into this now at 139.4, then I would be like, okay, well, what's 20% on this? That would be about 28 cents, so 30 would be 167-ish or so. 166, 167 is where I want to put a sell order, which is, you know what, a decent level here to go to this level of resistance. And I'm going to sell 10% of what I own. And then I'll keep doing that strategy. So if I sell at little south of 170, Then I realized 20% on that is 17 times 2, that's 34 cents. That gives me like $2, so I could do like $1.99. 1987 or something like that, and do another 10% of what I have left, which would be 90% of what I sold last time. Simple math. Simple. It's all about the math. And then again on the buyback. So for example, let's just assume that I sold up here, and then I sell at say $1.60. Then I'm going to want to sell maybe 30 cents lower. So now $1.30. So it goes to $1.30. So I'm going to have more than I sold, costing me less. And then I'm going to place another sell order probably at around $1.60 again, selling 10% of what I got. And then in situations where this just gets out of hand too high, when I start to see 10, 15, 20x type moves, then it's time. Then I would start to notice that the value gets really high. So I'm going to just take some off the table at these higher prices when they get there. And then I'll check back on you later kind of deal. In fact, there's going to be a lot of coins when it gets really high. Like, for example, I don't care about app coins overall, but if this thing gets to like par with Binance coin, or where are we at, 0.01? No, not even par. If this thing gets to like 0.15, 0.2, let's just say, see ya, maybe I'll check back at you later. I'm going to sell everything, literally, and I'm just going to find other things to put it into that is better. And some of it might be physical silver, because if the portfolio goes really high, I buy silver, which is another reason when the silver prices got down to those $14 lows, I haven't bought silver in a long time. It's probably been like a half a year now, 5 months, since I've bought some. It's withdrawal symptoms, a little bit, but I know the market's going to have situations where it's just, it's time to sell. Cryptos, that is. And then silver is one of the things to buy. Thank you for tuning in to this video, and have yourself a magnificent day. Bye-bye.